Hello, I'm Crispy Bacon, welcome back to another video, and today I'm predicting when each Premier League manager leaves their club. Now we're going to start off with Nottingham Forest because by the time this video goes out, Forest might have had 13 different managers from 12 different nations, and still Marinakis can't settle on his golden child, and he will probably be in charge at some point this season. And I think he's going to get sacked after a thumping in Austria from Sturm Graz, which will be one of the shorter spells in the Premier League's history. Now, this could also come after maybe December when they lose to Utrecht, but the logistics is, in the end of the day, I think, smack bang, there we go, I think it's unfortunately going to be Sturm Graz that ends this Australian's career in about 3 months. And then he won't have a job for a long, long time. Up next, I think, is the former Bournemouth player, former Fulham manager, and Burnley manager, Scott Parker. Now, I think he's going to get sacked. And brace yourself. I think he's going to get sacked after they lose to Liverpool at Anfield on the 17th of January. So, bottom line is, he's getting sacked in January. Yeah, what a happy new year that is. Yeah, mate, Scott, you're sacked. Now get out me bloody club. Right, up next, I think, is going to be, it's none other than Vitor Pereira. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I predicting Vitor Pereira when he's just signed a new contract? Now, that would be pretty stupid of Wolves to immediately sack their manager after he's signed a new contract, because that's even more money they're going to have to pay him for. But at the end of the day, I'm sticking with what I said at the start of the season. Vitor Pereira will leave Wolves midway through the season for a team in Europe. And I am confident with that. And I would say I might crack an egg over my head if he stays, but with the new contract, I'm not taking that risk. However, if Sheffield United book their ideas up and get promoted, I'm cracking an egg over my head, because I said that in one of the Championship prediction videos before I gave up on them completely because I didn't see any views in them. So that's your fault, those who are watching at home and aren't subscribed. Hit subscribe, you fools. And this isn't me just doing an impression of Morgs. Ooh, hit subscribe, you fools, because he's an annoying little rat who can go shove his Sheffield Wednesday support up his arse. Jesus Christ, that was a mouthful. Anywho, moving on. The next manager, I think, leaving is none other than Ruben Amorim. Now, I'm not going to predict when each game they're going to get sacked at, but there is definitely a guarantee on what I'm going to pick here. Because Manchester United, as long as they sack him after the 11th of December, they can save themselves, I think it was about 5 million or something. But personally, so I said Vitor Pereira was leaving mid-season. We'll just say January for the grand scheme of things if I didn't say January already. But personally, I think Ruben Amorim will get sacked, and brace yourselves for this, after losing to Crystal Palace on the final day of February this year. Well, not this year, because the next year. You get what I'm on about. Anywho, this Sporting Lisbon wonderful manager has turned into a chef who cooks and gives food poisoning and looks like Mr. Mario Bro from 1400s. And still, I have more chance of winning silverware at Manchester United. Now, if he goes and wins a trophy, I am prepared to eat my own words and spell them out using alphabetic spaghetti, whilst also trying to figure out whether my life is going to absolute horrible things, whilst cracking an egg over my head if Sheffield United get promoted, and eating my own words. Literally, I think I need to move on before I have a mental breakdown with a dictionary. So just moving on, the next manager I predict is, it's none other than Oliver Glasner and Pep Guardiola. Now, at one point this season and last season, there was more scratches on Guardiola's nose and forehead than he had wins. Now, here's my thinking. Guardiola leaves in the summer after having a nice time in Manchester, wanting a break before he accidentally just loses his cool and just retires from management already. And I think he will go to like some Serie A team like Juventus if they sack Igor Tudor. I've absolutely butchered that name, haven't I? But moral of the story, Oliver Glasner looks like the perfect replacement for Man City. And with him not signing this contract yet, and watch it, this video comes out and he's signed his new contract, and then I look like a right mug, don't I? These two managers will leave in the summer. And in the summer, he goes to Man City, and this Spanish masterclass is going to be staying as a free agent for a bit of time. Now, up next, we have... Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of forgot Brentford had Keith Andrews for a moment. I still thought they had Thomas Frank. See, I'm too far behind. Anywho, I did say in another prediction, my one bold prediction for all of you, that Keith Andrews is going to be the first manager sacked. Since then, West Ham have sacked their manager and Forest have almost sacked two managers, but here we are. Personally, I think Keith Andrews is growing on me. I mean, look at him. He looks like the mascot of Brentford. Just stick a bee head on him and he'll be perfect for the job. And instead, he's the manager when last season he was nothing but a backroom staff assistant manager to Thomas Frank, wondering when he would get his big break. Instead, he'd get his big break with some bees flying around and fluttering Manchester United again. Just constantly beating Man United like the bullies of the American movies. Just picking on that nerdy kid with glasses. And it turns out that nerdy kid with glasses ends up helping them in the future by giving them £1 million because they're rich. And the bully's living on the street with a cat and some cologne. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what to say about Keith Andrews. I'm going to say he gets sacked November 2026 because I'm genuinely starting to lose track of time. After the World Cup, Brentford will lose players like Igor Thiago and Kevin Schroeder and Mikko Damsgaard. And they'll all just go, right, peace out, I'm gone. And then Keith Andrews will just be left with a bunch of randomos and Yehor Yarmolenko and Ryan Trevitt, who's probably going to be the next Josh King, but only like 3 years older. Let's just move on to the next manager I think is going to get sacked. And this is my list of managers with the random screenshots that I don't really know what they are. But my next manager that I think's going to leave or get sacked is right here. It's Regis Lebreeze. He's also going to leave in November 2026, but to go to the Brentford job, because why not, innit? And then a Graham Potter will probably try and take this job at Sunderland. It'll either be that or some sort of lowlife like Jack Wilshere, who's just gone to Luton. I don't know why I've called him a lowlife, because I'm a really big fan of Jack Wilshere. I mean, that goal he scored, at least his goals wasn't deadly like Aaron Ramsey, who's now chilling in Mexico wearing Puma. Oh wait, sorry, he plays for Pumas. Well, yeah, they're poo. Anywho, moving on. The next manager I think gonna get sacked is none other than the man who makes ChatGPT sound like a harmonic angel, Daniel Farker. His pronunciation of his own age. I'm so sorry. Anyway, his pronunciation of his own name gets him more memes than his team will get wins. And by then, Leeds will get relegated, go down to the Championship. Not this season, but it'll put them on track to do it in the next season. So he's going to get sacked December 2026, just like our next manager. Let's see if he pops up. Yes, he does. Oh, no, he doesn't. Never mind. Just like our next manager, Marco Silva. And this is also in December, because I'm not hating on Marco Silva. I like Marco Silva. I just think by this time, December 2026, he's been chilling in Fulham, living his life in London, and then, oh, ring, ring, Al Hilal comes up, and he's like, we might end up in the Club World Cup, we're in the Asian Champions League, we could win the Saudi Pro League, and it'll be the only trophy you've won in a long, long time, the former Everton reject. who's now sitting around managing Fulham in the Premier League and doing a good job of it. But at the same time, I'm kind of jealous because I'm sat at home thinking, oh, Fulham are really, really good. Meanwhile, Derby County and John Eustace aren't working together, but I want John Eustace to work out because he used to play for Derby County. And coming up next in the endless list of managers that I have in here, I generally can't select which one I want. Take your pick. Oh, there he is. Hi, David Moyes. I think he's going to get sacked in February 2027. And that'll be the time where Everton are doing absolutely terrible. Jack Grealish should have gone back to Man City and got sold to some team abroad like Bayer Leverkusen. They would have lost Ilman and Dye to, like, I don't know, Chelsea, because they just keep on going on spending sprees like that. And instead, they go and sign some randomo from the Championship like Hayden Hackney or, I don't know, Kelechi Iheanacho from Celtic again. Jesus Christ, I'm getting desperate. But this guy who's meant to be the next Sir Alex Ferguson's going to end up wasted outside of Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium, just wondering where his life went wrong, being at Everton more times than he's had hot dinners this week. Jesus Christ, our next manager to get sacked in my predictions is none other than... Now, the next manager to get sacked or leave, as we zoom in so you can actually see this Argentine's bald head, is Enzo Maresca. Now, this is one of many that I'm going to say happens at the end of the season. You're going to have Enzo Maresca leave. Let me find the next picture because there's about 400 I've got loaded up. You're going to have... There he is. Mikel Arteta leave in the summer of 2027. So shut that one down. You're going to have Fabian Herzl leave in 2027. And I think Fabian Herzl leaving Brighton he'll probably end up at some German team like Bayer Leverkusen, Dortmund or Munich. Maybe even replace Julian Nagelsmann as the German manager after they flop in the World Cup again. At least they're qualifying like Italy. Have that, you spaghetti mafia twits who beat us in the Euros constantly. Hashtag still not over it. But yeah, those are the three managers I pick. But still, what I'm going to say here, Antonio Iraola becomes the next Arsenal manager. So, voila, bye-bye. Bournemouth are now off this list. So that's 4 managers gone in the summer. And just so I can shut Antonio Iraola down, I'm just going to pop it on Unai Emery because he's the next manager I've got getting sacked. But that's not due to being sacked, but that's in December 2027 because, I don't know, Barcelona and Hansi Flick have departed ways and Unai Emery's their number one candidate. I don't know. I'm just walking around like a long-lost kid at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory just hoping for some bloody chocolate because that'd do really well for my sore throat, but still I'm recording videos for you guys, and if that isn't something you could subscribe for, then I don't know what you're doing with your lives. Nah, I'm joking. You lot, even if you view it, obviously a subscription would be incredible. I want to get to at least 100 by the end of the year, but oh well, things happen, you can't really help them. So that's Unai Emery gone. And oh no, it sent you to the home page. So I'm just going to load up Arne Slot. He's not the next manager I think going. It's Nuno Espirito Santo. Now I see something in this West Ham with Nuno Santo. I think this West Ham will get into the Europe in the 26-27 season. And then the 27-28 season, halfway through that, this Nuno Espirito Santo, former Tottenham flop, but did well at Wolves. He'll be going halfway around London. Let's just say Chelsea had an absolute horrible manager, I don't know, Michael Carrick, and he did like poorly for like so long. And then January 2028, Jesus Christ, I feel old. They decide to take a punt on Nuno Espirito Santo, who sprints faster than half of the Chelsea squad. Knowing them, by the time he comes in, they've got about 422 keepers, and 17 of them are trying to start up front because they didn't even want to be keepers. Todd Bowley's still spending money on Brighton players. I'm surprised he didn't just sign the whole Brighton team and just buy the whole Brighton team. In the meanwhile, Strasbourg have probably got, I don't know, Enzo Maresca. Strasbourg just hire him because Todd Bowley might send him packing back to Chelsea, which is basically suffrage. Because you don't want to suffer at Chelsea like that. You don't want to do a bad job at Chelsea. Look at how all of their managers have gone. And now, before you say voice crack, I can't help it, it's my throat. It's as dry as the Sahara Desert, meat in the blooming pickles that have had the juice sucked out of them. All I wish I had was some sweets and some juice. Oh wait, I've got some now, so obviously I'm not going to let you listen to me drink because that's just weird. It's like saying, oh, come and watch me play FC26 and then not show you it. All you'll be hearing is me going, oh, what a pass that is. And, oh, what a goal. Jesus Christ, I'm going to leave you on that. And we're going to move on to the next manager, which is, it's the Danish 4. Who looks like somebody who could go on Strictly. To be frank, I think Thomas Frank is going to last till 2028. And that's the summer window. And he's going to be gone, I don't know who he's going to be replaced by. I'm not even going to think about that. But knowing them, it will probably be like someone like Julian Nagelsmann or Vincent Kompany after he didn't get the Man City job, and still Oliver Glasner is being an Austrian dominating in England. Thank God that didn't happen in World War II. Anywho, next manager up. And there's only 2 left, so the winner is none other than, it's Arne Slot. Now I think he'll stay at Liverpool until like 2031, 2032 maybe. But I'm obviously not going to put a timestamp on that. I think he stays until his contract runs down, get another couple of years on that contract. So it'll be about 2032 in the summer of 2032 where he leaves. But at the same time, I think he'll then go into international management or go to the not the Bundesliga, or he'll go to La Liga and manage, I don't know, Real Madrid. Which means one manager is left. Eddie Howe. I think he gets sacked he doesn't get sacked. He leaves in 2029. Pardon me. He leaves in 2029 and goes to, I don't know, England, the national team. He leaves at the end of the season, obviously, because, yeah, in 2029, just after the Euros, because Thomas Tuchel was absolutely bone idle and couldn't get us playing good football. And that is it for today's video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe, share it. If we get 100 views, I will predict which manager will be at your club in 2030. And yeah, I might even do some retro kits in the tier list ranking. So until then, I'll see ya when I see ya.